let's go to the phones. Let's just get right to it. Let's go to Renee in Falling Waters, West Virginia. I'm glad it's not Rising Waters, West Virginia. How are you, Renee?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good. That would not be good if it was Rising Waters. All right, so what's up?
All right, so I'll jump into my question. How can I train myself to not catastrophize everything that I am not in control of?
Renee, that's one of my favorite things to do. Why would you want to give that up?
It's exhausting.
I'm so good at I know, but it's so fun. It's so fun. What if, I know, but what if, what if? That's like the haunt question, right?
Right.
All right, what do you catastrophize? Why do you do that?
Well, what I think it stems from, I'll give you a little background. When I was 5 years old, I was in a vehicle accident that killed my mom. And from that point...
Renee, why didn't you start there? I'm not laughing that your mom passed away. I'm just laughing. I think I found it.
Right. I think this is the thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's everything. So in car rides, I can be in a parking lot going 5 miles an hour, and I know in my mind that is logical. If I get in an accident going 5 miles an hour, it's fine. But in my insane brain, I picture fatalities and fire and explosions. I'm afraid of turning my phone off because I'm convinced as soon as I do it, something's going to happen in my family. Someone will be trying to get a hold of me, and there'll be a big thing. When my daughter goes with her father, I'm convinced she's going to get kidnapped, or they'll be in an accident, or something will happen that I'm not there to control or keep from happening. Yeah, like things like that.
So I want you to reframe this. This is not your crazy brain. This is your right on, been there brain.
Right.
This is your brain doing the best job it can to keep you safe. And good for it. Good for it. And here's a weird thing about it. You know what it feels like it's kept you from? Dying in a car wreck for the last 25 years?
So far.
So as far as it's concerned, it's done its job.
Right.
Right. And then the spin up part of your brain is like, so far, but it could be today. And here is the damning loop that you're in. You're right. Your daughter could get kidnapped. That could actually happen. You could actually get in a fiery, burning car wreck. Do you think that's going to happen? Logically?
Logically, no.
Yep. Right. So the magic is, how do we get to, yeah, that could happen, but probably not. And
right.
the sentence, that little phrase was part of my getting well journey, and it still is with me now. Which is, or not my journey. It sounds like I'm on some spiritual voodoo walk, but like on the adventure from going from a super anxious over catastrophizer to how do I just be a well-adjusted, joyful dad, coworker, and friend and husband, is the sentence, but probably not. And I got that from a banker. I didn't get that from a therapist. I got it from my buddy who's a banker. And I was like, yeah, what about this? And he goes, oh, okay, that could happen. And he goes, but probably not. And I realized, oh yeah, I'm just staring at this one little sliver of pie and I'm forgetting all the other pie all around it. Have you gone and done something like EMDR?
No.
I think you should.
Okay.
And this is not me telling you this clinically. This is me telling you as a friend. What you have yet to do is metabolize the trauma that you experienced firsthand. And by the way, it's not just that car wreck. It's your body's memory of being a tether-free 5-year-old kid without a mom.
Great.
And it's easy to put all of this onto vehicles, onto car wrecks, but it's way bigger than that. The trauma here is way bigger than that. The trauma is a little 5-year-old girl that was stumbling through the world saying, but where's my mom?
Right.
And your body has to be able to have that memory and ask that question and have that thought and not take off on you as though the wreck is happening again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So healing here is not that your mom comes back. Healing here isn't that you didn't experience the single most horrific thing a child could experience, which is the death of their mother, being in it, in a horrific, 1 second you're here, 1 second she's gone. Healing is, I can remember that, I can think of that, and my body knows I'm safe in the present. And that's what something like EMDR can do. A good therapist can help you with that. We're just trying to make peace with the present. We weren't safe then, but we're safe now. And then here's the worst part. It's the worst part about catastrophizing. The only way to heal from it is right through it.
Right.
That's the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst. The only way to get over a phobia is to hold a snake and realize it's not going to kill you. It could. It might, but it probably won't. Right? It probably won't. And here, you hear how flippant I am about it? And now it's just become second nature.
Right.
My wife is 4 minutes late. She could be cheating on me. Yep, but she's probably not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just an automated statement in my mind. Here's the place I want you to start. Number one, I want you to get, how old are you?
32.
32. Okay. So I want you to call a counselor who specializes in EMDR. Start there in your local area. And you may have to travel a little bit. This isn't something, I don't think you can do EMDR. I've never heard of it being done on like Zoom or something.
Right.
But I want you to find a counselor in your area that can do it. Okay. And say, I was a part of a catastrophic wreck as a kid, and I am continuing to replay that. It sounded like, tell me if I'm wrong, it sounded like just when I was talking about a little 5-year-old girl missing her mom, your body you got choked up there.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. That's what we're looking for. Okay. That's where that's the center, that's the engine of the catastrophizing. Is your body still thinks it can do a thing that will keep your mom okay. Your body still thinks, okay, mom's gone, we are on our own. And the way through our own, the way through this is we will control everything. And when your brain feels like you're not paying enough attention, it's going to start playing movies in the foreground to make you pay attention.
Yes.
And we're just going to turn that part of your brain off and let it be where it should be, which is identifying real threats, not ones that are imagined. The second thing I want you to do is, I'm holding this up if you're watching this on YouTube, it's just get a journal of some sort, something small that you can write down the wildest of the wild thoughts. Okay. And sometimes I do it much less now, but occasionally I do it. I'll hold them at arm's length so I can look at them. And I just ask myself one question: is this true? And 99.9% of the time, it might be, but probably not.
Right.
And there's going to be real threats in the world. Right? Like right now, everything feels like 1917. Like a small little conflict started over in Russia. And then last night or 2 nights ago, Putin mobilizes a bunch of troops, and then somebody has a failed assassination over. It feels like the world's turning into a powder keg, and we're waiting on one spark to set it off, right?
Yeah.
So there's real stuff, but I want my body to be able to focus through the noise at those things, the things that are actually real threats. And by the way, what I can actually do about them. That's the other part. That's part 2. Identifying those thoughts. Is this true? And then underneath it, what can I do about it?
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to focus. You know what I can do about Russia invading Ukraine? Is zero things. I can do 0 things.
Yeah.
0, 0, 0, 0. That makes sense?
It does, yes.
I wish I could give you a thing that just stopped it.
Right.
But it's actually not a bug in the system. It's your brain trying to take care of you. What's your biggest, let's do this one together. What's your biggest catastrophe? What's the thing you catastrophize the most?
Something happening to my kids and me not being there. It could be anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you've been through that story.
Yeah.
It was hellacious not having your mom, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
Something could happen to you, but it probably won't.
Right.
So what can you do about it? And that's an honest question. And I'm thinking like not texting and driving and wearing a seatbelt and not drinking and driving. Like, what are some things you can do about it?
I don't know. I mean, just do the best I can do when I'm in control.
The more specific you can itemize things, the more your the fear part of your brain will realize you're driving. Meaning, if for a season you have a little note card in your car that just says, "Have I done all the things?" Yep. Yep. I've done
Right.
what I can do.
Okay.
You can't do anything about a drunk driver.
Right.
You can't do anything about somebody running a red light. You can make sure your seatbelt's on. You can make sure you're not intoxicated. You make sure I don't text and drive. Make sure all my kids are in their car seats. And then that's what I can do. And what we're going to do is we're going to practice making peace there. But if you're in the car driving and you're wondering, did I do everything I could do? Do I do everything? And now your brain's like, who's driving? And then out of the back of your brain, I'll take over. And then the stories start, right?
Yeah.
So what can I actually do in a nuclear holocaust? Not a lot. You know what I mean? Not a lot.
Yeah.
I'll have some canned goods, I guess. And there's a creek down the street from me. I'll go there. Right. I mean, so it's like very limited. And it's like, oh, okay, so not a lot.
Right.
And just making peace with it. Are you scared to go back and deal with it?
No, I don't think so.
Or let me say it like this. Not that you're scared, like, I don't know what to do. More
Right.
like, I'm scared that if I finally deal with this, Mom leaves.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
think I can,
Good.
get into it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you what's on the other side of this thing. You haven't laughed for real in a long time. And you probably, Renee, haven't slept in full crash course deep REM sleep. And beneath that, the deep sleep. Possibly ever. You haven't been able to prop your feet up in a relationship and just settle in. You might be married and be in love and he loves you or whatever, but to be completely at peace because you've been making sure nobody comes busting in the door to kill everybody. That's what we're aiming for here. You're worth it. You're worth it. You're worth it.